have you with me today. If you're new here, my name is Bridget, and I'm so glad to have you. So what I'm going to be doing today is sharing with you my latest sampler print designs. Now these sampler prints that are framed will be ready for purchase this Friday morning, March the 7th at 8 a.m. So I'll be posting all that information on my screen, and I'll post it in my description box below. But what I wanted to do today was just share with you each sampler so that you can get a better feel for it, because I know when you go on my website you have a picture of it, but I kind of wanted to share with you, what it looks like, what it looks like if you hang it up or place it somewhere, to kind of give you a better idea if you want to purchase one, which one you want. So I'm going to start with this one. This one is an 11 by 14 and it's framed in a black frame, and that's a little closer view of it. And it says, always keep a green tree in your heart so that the singing bird comes. And then it's got two little red birds here, two red bird motifs. And this is pretty for spring, kind of like we like to add a little springy look with touches of green in our house. And this one has the tree and two little birds on it. I feel like it's kind of a little bit more of a springy look. So that's the first one. And this one is, hope you can see it good. It says, God shed his grace on thee. And it's got a mustard house and a horse motif, and of course the alphabets at the top. And this size is an 11 by 17. And when I give you that size, that doesn't count the frame part. So you're going to be able to add about an inch to that. So it's probably going to be like a 12 by 18 on this one. Now this one is just a schoolgirl alphabet sampler, and it says Haverhill School, and it's just alphabets and motifs, and it's very muted. It does have some black in it, but it's very muted and it has a really early old look to it. And this one is framed in an 8 by 10 frame, and it's black. It's a black frame. Now this one is actually, I had probably more compliments on this sampler than some of the ones that I've done. This one, I have it framed in a brown frame, and it says, the Lord is my rock and my salvation, amen. And then it's got two brown deer. It's got a motif with some blue in it. Let's see. Of course, it has the alphabets up here, but this one is also, overall, it would be a 12-inch by 18-inch. This one is a little bit of a patriotic sampler. Of course, I know this is March, but coming at the end of May, we'll have Memorial Day, and then we'll have 4th of July. And for me, I kind of like to use these year-round. But this one just says, God bless America, and it has a little colonial-looking man down there holding a flag. And it's got the date 1776. And this one is framed in an 8 by 10 frame. And I try to have a variety of sizes. I know some people like the large ones, or if they're going to do a wall of samplers or like a collage of samplers, they like to have different sizes to choose from. So I have a lot of smaller sizes along with the larger ones. This one is framed in a 5 by 7 frame. It's in a brown frame, and it is just an alphabet sampler with some motifs at the bottom. And again, this one's kind of muted, has kind of an older look. And those are usually the kind of ones that I love, these kind. Another little small Americana sampler. This one just says America and has a little flag, and I had mounted this to a piece of antique red coverlet, and that's a 4 by 6 frame. This one says ever thankful, always grateful, and it's framed in an 8 by 8 square frame in a black frame. Just a few minutes, guys, I'm going to go through the house and I'm going to show you how they would look if you hung them together, or if you had them sitting out on a table or inside a cupboard. Kind of gives you a better idea of what you think you might like. This one is an alphabet sampler with a large motif at the bottom with some blackbirds and it looks like a red, looks like a tulip almost to me. And this one is a 6x9 frame, and it has the easel on the back so that you could set it on a tabletop. A lot of these, except for the larger ones, all have the easels where you can hang them or set them on a table or inside a cupboard. This is a little square one. It's just strictly an alphabet sampler with muted colors, and it is a 6x6. Let's see here. And then here's another one. This one's another larger one, and it has a mustard colored old looking house on it, and it says Chester County, Pennsylvania, and I hope you can see it. It's another one that's going to be like 12 inches by 18 inches overall. Now this is framed in an 8x10. It's a red work sampler, and it's just basically just rows of alphabets. This is a little bitty tiny sampler. It's 4x6, framed in a brown frame, and it's just a little log cabin and a little green tree motif. Okay, this is one of the larger samplers. It's going to measure 14 by 18 overall. It's framed in a 12 by 16 frame, but by the time you add the size of the frame, it's going to be 14 by 18. And it says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Matthew 5:9. So that one's got a Bible verse on it. And of course, with it being that size, you could hang it by itself and it would look really pretty, hanging over a cupboard or a table. It would be really pretty by itself. And one other thing I wanted to say, for those of you that haven't bought these from me before, I want to make sure that everybody understands these are all samplers that I have stitched through the years, but they're not, this is not a stitched sampler. This is a print of an original design sampler by me. So when you look at, they look so real when you come up on them and look close to them. If they're hanging on the wall, you can actually see the fabric and the actual holes in the fabric where you stitch. So they really do have a, it's hard to think that they're not real, but I just wanted to make sure that you all know that these are not stitched samplers. These are reproduction prints of samplers that I have stitched through the years. Got a few more left. This is a little 5x7. And this says, "Praise ye the Lord." Looks like it has a little cat motif on it. It's done in all browns. And it's a 5x7, framed in a 5x7 frame. This one's just an alphabet sampler with the very muted colors, framed in a brown frame. And it says Essex County, and it's got a lot of different motifs across the bottom. This is one that I did, and it's probably one of the older ones that I stitched a long time ago. And it has the name Percy Miles on it, which sounds like an old name, and it's just got alphabets and motifs on it. And then the last one is a 4x6, and it's all done in browns, and it says Hope, Love, and it just has a key and a little bird on it. So anyway, guys, that's all the different ones that I have. And again, they'll be ready for purchase this Friday morning at 8 o'clock, which will be March the 7th. You'll just need to go to my website, which is www.bridgetsprimitivepassion.com. And there I'll have all of my sampler prints listed, and you can just add them to your cart and do everything right there on that website. I thank all of you that have bought from me in the past, and I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get these new designs ready, but just been really busy, so I guess better late than never. I've got them ready, so I would appreciate if you go over there and take a look at them, and thank you so much. And now I'm going to take you through just what I would do with them. If I were going to buy some and I were going to hang these myself, I'll show you how I would display them. Now here is a grouping of these that I put together, and I hung it over this mule chest, and I have this box sitting on top of it. This just kind of gives you an idea of what it would look like if you had them together as a grouping. Here are the ones that I chose to go in this little grouping. This might help you decide which ones you like. all grouped together. Now I'm in my kitchen, and I felt like the little saying on this sampler was appropriate for my kitchen, and I just tucked it inside one of the cupboards that I have here with some crocks and woodenware. And the colors, the browns in that sampler, I felt like went good with my crocks. Now I'm in my living room, and this is a little patriotic sampler, and it just says America with a flag. And I thought it looked good setting with my clay pipes and my tricorn hat. Now this is a little cabinet that hangs in my bathroom, and it's just a good little place to display a sampler or to hang something, and this is probably one of my favorite samplers. I love the deer and the motif at the bottom. And then on this same cabinet, I showed you what it would look like with a different sampler. This is the one that kind of looks a little springy with the tree and the red birds. And I put this one inside this little bookshelf. It says, God Bless America. It's just sitting on top of a chest. A little bookshelf. And I put this little 5x7 sampler, I tucked it inside this little cupboard in my bedroom. And I like the little brown frame on it. And in the same cabinet, I swapped that 5x7 for this little 6x6. And I feel like that it looks good in the cabinet, just kind of gives it a little different look. I'm still in my bedroom, and this is my pewter cabinet, and I just tucked it in with my pewter and some of my green bottles. And it's a little 5x7 sampler. Okay, I'm back in my bathroom, and this is just a little shelf that holds a lot of little collectibles, and above it is an 11x14 sampler that's on my website. It's been sold out, but I'll have it restocked this Friday as well. And this little sampler is the log cabin and the little green tree motif. And I'm not sure I showed you this little sampler. It's just a little square 6x6, and it just has 1791 with, actually it's got my initials. So again, these sampler prints will be available this Friday, March the 7th at 8 o'clock a.m. and that will be on my website, www.bridgetsprimitivepassion.com. And again, I'll put that information on my screen, and I'll put it in my description box below. So if you guys have any questions or need any more information, please be sure and let me know. And again, I thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.